The ratings, of course, change with the 5 coming out, so 1 and 6 equal ahead of the 2 and the 3 as we say good afternoon to Greg Miles.
Won this last year with Menang. Of course, the race named after one of his great champions, Superimpose. Peace Ruler to come along. And Brendan joining us as well. Thank you, Brendan. Welcome along, everyone, for what will be a wonderful day of spring racing at Flemington. Nice crowd starting to build up. Major Woody, the surprise withdrawal in the first 12-18 Vets Advice. Favourite is Sylvester. He's been favourite right through betting. Second pick on course is Dandyish, and then Peace Ruler, Live Theatre, all given good chances. Just about right to go. In fact, they're all in. Round out 9, the track is dead. They're set now. Live Theatre just shifting around a little down in gate number 2. Serpentire stood well with reserve funds. Sylvester standing up well. There's attendance all round Live Theatre. Light flashes. All clears through. They were racing in the first on the card too. And Live Theatre was the first out. Sylvester began very quickly. He's on the pace early. And they're followed about a length and a half away then by Dandyish, striding up wider out to get into third placing. Peace Ruler's deeper still going up to 4th. Reserve funds right behind them. Just a really sluggish tempo in the early stages of this race. They were being followed then by Davidoff. A couple of lengths to Serpentire, Wildheart. They put the 1400 behind them now. And Dandyish strode to the lead. Peace Ruler's up second the outside. About a length and a half to Live Theatre. Just starting to tug a little bit. Sylvester his outside. 2 lengths further back is Reserve Funds, Davidoff. 2 Serpentire and Wildheart last of all. It's still not a very fast tempo. It might be hard to run on as they went out towards the 1,000-metre mark. It's Dandyish by a length. Peace Ruler second. 2.5 lengths away Sylvester, who's over on the outside of Live Theatre. 2 to Davidoff, Reserve Funds, 2 Serpentire and Wildheart last of the 8. They're quickening a little now, coming towards the 800 metres, and Dandyish led by neck to Peace Ruler. 2 to Sylvester. Live Theatre the inside. Almost a length further back then came Davidoff, followed Reserve Funds. Serpentire getting to the outside, and Wildheart will sweep from last. At the 600 they're coming for home now. Dandyish the inside, Peace Ruler the outer. They're going to corner with a length and a half lead over Sylvester, who travelled sweetly in the yellow and red colours, cornering. Pull to the outside. Serpentire's come with a rush. He's got to 4th, and Live Theatre's strung up for a run, followed by Davidoff, Reserve Funds, and then Wildheart on the outside. Sylvester raced up on the outside at the 200, and he quickly took the lead. On the outside is Serpentire trying to go with him. Live Theatre setting daylight, and Wildheart is coming down the outside now. Serpentire went to the lead. Wildheart is after it. Then Davidoff and Sylvester with close to the line. Wildheart getting up to Serpentire, and I think Wildheart might have got Serpentire right on the line. Photo finish for 3rd, and there's 3 of them there. Davidoff with Sylvester and Live Theatre on the inside. Just behind those Reserve Funds, Peace Ruler, and last to finish is Dandyish. 2 leaders have knocked up to finish at the back of the field. And coming from last, Wildheart will get this, Darren Gauci. Number 10, coming from the back of the field with a strong run, has got up to win. Beating Serpentire in a photo finish, both of them coming from near the back. Time 1:50.2. There's the numbers going in the frame. 10 the winner, Wildheart, Darren Gauci. 2 second, Serpentire, Damien Oliver. And 7 third, Davidoff, ridden by Kieran McAvoy. 10, 2 and 7 official. Some nice runs in it, and what looked to me to be a fairly slowly run race, and the fact that the first 2 have come from the back is a bit surprising. Sylvester, I feel a bit disappointing. He was travelling like a winner coming around the home turn. He raced to the lead at the 300, but he couldn't finish his race off. Couple of unlucky runners. Davidoff particularly was held up for a run and then had to ease over heels to try and get another run, which really didn't quite present itself, and he went to the line hard held. And Live Theatre, a big long loping strider, didn't really get the runs when he needed. Dandyish, disappointed, led them up, set his own pace, but found nothing in the run home. He's finished at the end of the field in company with Peace Ruler. The 2 on paces tiring right out of it. But numbers are 10, 2 and 7. A small upset in the first with Wildheart winning. Well beaten at Moonee Valley behind Dandyish last time out. Did come from last in that 1,600 metre race, the longer trip. First time he's been out to it, he certainly did appreciate that. 10.27, race number 1, 4th in number 6, 5th in number 3 in 150.2.
Okay, Wildheart winning the first. Importantly, that late scratching of Major Woody, number 5. Runners are in the mounting yard here, and we'll be taking you through most of the key contenders today, thanks to Emirates Park, who's sponsoring our mounting yard coverage. Darren Gauci returns in the first as they parade. A quick check of the full market on course.
Off and running now, and the first for the day. And Live Theatre, one of the first out. Sylvester bounced out quickly with reserve funds, and further out Dandish. Just behind it, Davidoff settling down from Peace Ruler, Wildheart, and Serpentire went back to the tail. Live Theatre just led, but Dandish moving forward and pushing up in the middle is Sylvester, and Peace Ruler's out very wide, pushing forward. They're trying to sort themselves out, and Dandish just led now from Peace Ruler. Third is Live Theatre, and Sylvester goes back fourth, and they slow in front. 2 lengths further back, reserve funds on the inside of Davidoff. 2 lengths Serpentire and Wildheart last of all. Dandish left in front of Chiquita Lodge and led 3/4 to a length in front now from Peace Ruler. A length and a half then to Live Theatre, and neck the outside Sylvester. It's running fourth. 2 lengths further back, reserve funds. Davidoff outside it, a couple of lengths Serpentire, and last of all the inside is Wildheart at the 1,000-metre mark, and Dandish slowed them up in front. Led 3/4 to Peace Ruler. They got 2 1/2 in front of Sylvester on the outside of Live Theatre, fourth the fence. A length and a half Davidoff, followed by reserve funds, who's 6 back on the rail. A length further back in the race Serpentire, and 2 to Wildheart. Up at the 700-metre mark, and it's still Dandish, about a neck in front from on the outside Peace Ruler. A length and a half Sylvester, the red cap, on the inside Live Theatre. Serpentire, the first one to go forward, up on the outside fifth. Then Davidoff from Wildheart, and reserve funds stayed back to the rail. Flapping out for the run home now. The speed comes into the race. Dandish, Peace Ruler, and coming at them Sylvester, joining in pretty quickly. Then Serpentire. Further back was Davidoff. Out in the centre, Sylvester has raced to Peace Ruler. Under pressure, Dandish. Reserve funds with nowhere to go. Serpentire further out. Davidoff behind those, and wider out as Wildheart down the middle. It's Serpentire getting to the front. Wildheart coming at it. Back on the inside, Sylvester. Serpentire in front. After it on the outside, Wildheart. Serpentire, Wildheart. Wildheart, I'd say, may have got the bobbin to win from Serpentire. Third's close, either Davidoff, Sylvester, and Live Theatre the rail. A gap, reserve funds. Further back, Peace Ruler. And Dandish, after leading up, has run last.
10 Wildheart, Darren Gauci, 15.90, 3.80, 2 Serpentire, 2.40, heap of them there for third, number 7, 2.40, number 6, 1.40, number 3, 2.70.
And a good finish here to the first. Wildheart getting up on the outside of Serpentire, and the heads were just slightly out of sync. Judge calling for the photo with Wildheart diving at Serpentire in the shadows of the post. The heads were just slightly out of sync. And just waiting on the number to go up, and there it is now, number 10. Number 10 on the outsides come from last. It's probably one nearly a good head on the line, just looking at the print that's reflected up. Heads were just slightly out of sync as it was getting up to Serpentire. And it's got there 10, 2, and number 7 is third, Davidoff. After the photo for third as well, 10, 2, and 7. Now that went up, has come from last up to the home turn, and has come down the middle about 5 or 6 horses out. Dandish has led on the fence. Peace Ruler got past it. Sylvester, who travelled virtually 1-1, joined in. Serpentire, who was the first to go at about the 600, tracking 3 deep, then got to Sylvester. And then the widest runner about 4 or 5 out was Wildheart, who gets the bobbin right on the line to win. Okay, 10, 2, 7. And Ian Lewis is the man who's connected with the stable, of course, of Graham Rogerson. He's with Dean trackside now.
Thanks very much, Brian. Joined by Ian Lewis, stable manager for the Rogerson stable, and Wildheart did a terrific job. Ian, you were just saying he ran great sectionals at the Valley, and showed today he finished strongly.
Yeah, Dean, we were really pleased with the Moonee Valley. He ran home terrific, and yeah, we've set him for hopefully for the Derby, and next start will probably be the Vars.
Okay, he was very strong on the end of the race, and certainly settled well, because it wasn't a really hot pace early.
Yeah, I was a bit worried early when there was no pace, but Darren had him settled beautifully at the back of the field, and yeah, I was just sort of the 400, he just quickened it to be a chance, and he did it, yeah.
Stable's got some terrific runners later for the punters. Lashed in the Edward Manifold, outstanding first up run.
Yeah, very pleased with her first up run. She's improved since then, trained on nicely, and with Dee Oliver on, you just think he'd be a super chance.
And Phaser in the mares race hasn't had much luck in her past 2 runs here, and probably deserves a change in fortune. She's well placed again.
Yeah. Okay, Wayne, thanking you. Bushland, as you reported, it's come in for late support. Now, there's the one we mentioned earlier called Carry the King, which has been incredibly backed from gigantic odds. was, well, huge odds, I can say, but it's way more than half those. In fact, it's probably cut 2/3 off those earlier odds, but it's still under the value on the tote. Now, amended details New Zealand, 3, 5, 11 and 18 across the line. Easy late in betting, still in the odds-on territory. There's been a sustained move late for L'Espalier, which is value on the tote at $4.80. They're taking shorter than that on course. Of the remainder, there's been money for Penaliser, but it still remains the fourth or fifth elect on track. Now, Flemington's second race on the card, 7 and 10 are the two equal top raters ahead of the 1 and the 4. Second race, here's the ratings for you. Kusi and Lord Volksgrad. Now, here's the latest check of betting details. Tycoon Rulers in the market, along with Hydrometer. Able Choice, the Hong Kong galloper, is fancy. We go down from there to Magic Bird. Kusi at double-figure odds. Our Webster, long odds today. And then we go over the page from there. Both in the market, they include Frightening and Lord Volksgrad. Nashra Willis Ride, which is at $3 shorter elsewhere. Ian Craig stands by for the Canonbury Stakes. Big day of calling ahead for Ian as we head up to the race calling tower. Good afternoon, Ian.
Righto, Brendan, thanking you. And again, hello, everyone. Welcome to Epsom Day. And the first is the Canonbury Stakes. Bushland is the favourite on the tote $1.70, just into the red on track. And there's been good late support for number 7, L'Espalier. Has come in 3/4 of a point in the ring. And there has been just a sprinkle of money at very, very long odds for number 2, Carry the King. And thank you, Dean Caparella. Good afternoon to our Sky Channel audience. A lovely day here at Randwick for the Epsom Day. And in the first, the Canonbury, won last year by Snowland. $1.70 in New South Wales Bushland, a tick into the red on track. Best back to beat him has been 7, L'Espalier, $4.60 on the tote, and a little shorter in the ring. And there has been a sprinkle of money at long odds for Carry the King. Now, over here at the 1,000 metres, Carry the King about to move forward. Hammer Beam comes in just ahead of Carry the King. Hammer Beam, a stablemate of the popular pick Bushland. Nice type of colt Bushland. He's by Quest for Fame from the Sadek mare Terrain. So another well-named horse from Crown Lodge. And they're all there now. Not quite was Carry the King, but he is safely entrenched now. A good track, and the rail is out 3 metres. They stand up reasonably well. Line better. Racing in the Canonbury, and Bushland near enough to last out, and the Queenslander penalised. Jump quickly, so did Carry the King. Spymaster and L'Espalier going up quickly now, and so's Copton. Hammerbeam drifting back as the favourite improves Bushland, and then Don't Tell Me Lies. And Absolute as Jack Quigg along to the 650, and L'Espalier booting up on the inside now to Shade, penalised. A length third in the event, Carry the King. Copton fourth, then Spymaster, and 2 lengths the stablemates. Hammerbeam and Bushland. He's a long way back, Bushland. Second last, Don't Tell Me Lies, and Jack Quigg under the whip is last. Around the corner, the heavily back L'Espalier just leading, penalised. Carry the King third, and Copton putting in a charge, then Spymaster. Hammerbeam next, and Bushland at the head of the others. Hammerbeam and Bushland having a bumping duel, but Copton after L'Espalier. And at the 150 on the outside, Bushland and Hammerbeam are starting to hit the bit now with Spymaster, Bushland and Hammerbeam. The 2 stablemates hit the line together. Oh, a beauty. Hammerbeam and Bushland hit it absolutely locked together. Third is tight between Spymaster and L'Espalier, followed home then by Copton, and then Don't Tell Me Lies, Jack Quigg, Carry the King, and Penalised dropped out to finish last. Terrific finish in the first event of the day. The stablemates fought it out after standing the leaders. A big start at the 200. Hammerbeam and Bushland. He's a big horse, Hammerbeam. And he made one big lunge at Bushland on the line. And he'll probably just get there, I'd say, Hammerbeam. No numbers up. 5 Hammer Beam, about $11.80 and $2.50. He's by Grand Lodge from the Star Watch mare Flamboyance, and trained by John Hawkes for the Woodland Stud. And there's the number. 5 is the winner, Hammer Beam. Hammer Beam, ridden by Darren Beedman, is first. Number 1, Bushland, ridden by C. Brown. Second by Quest for Fame from Terrain, and they had a significant bumping duel near the 250. And number 7, Lespalia, has run third, ridden by Jim Cassidy, just in advance of number 9, Spymaster. So a thriller was the first, the Moulton Chandon Canonbury Stakes. The official totes, number 5 at $11.80 and $2.50. Number 1 paid $1.10, and number 7 at $1.40. The Quinella was $8.60, the Exact at $28.40, the Trifecta $66.90, and the first 4, 5, 1, 7 and 9, $290.40. Hammer Beam, and Bushland look as though they're going to really make their name on the racetrack. I like the way they got to the line.
Richard, early 2-year-old races, green as grass, weren't they?
It's shocking betting on them. The Hammer Bean, he's probably the despised outsider of the Hawks stable. He's got the money with Darren Beedman on board, and Bushland, well, he would have been the one everyone was picking. He's just got nutted on the post. Lespalia battled on well, but gee, that's a bit of a blowout, I guess.
Hammer Beam wasn't without its fanciers as we leave Randwick now. Down to the second race on Turnbull Stakes Day. Some good horses have won this listed Concept Sports Stakes. Alpha won this on progress, or en route to winning a Caulfield Guineas.
Yes, I think you can have a look at all the horses that are running on the Flemington Turnbull Stakes Day today. Able Choice there at $9. He's the Hong Kong horse. His runs in Australia have been pretty good, but his first run was better than the ones after that, and I think his form needs to lift. Hydrometer at $5.40. Well, Damien Oliver's chosen this horse, very consistent colt, and ran on hard despite drifting very wide and just missed out last time. You want to put him in as well. Redwood Falls is out. Tycoon Ruler, a nice horse at $8.90 there.
And Kusi from the Freedman stable, what's the mail been like? A horse perhaps suited to this step-up and journey?
I think Lee thinks he's got a bit of a chance today, Kusi. He's drawn the right gate. The 1400 you need to draw in. He's drawn the one gate. Brett Preble in the saddle, so a great rider there. And I think Lee thinks he can run a good race today after running fourth at his last start at Moonee Valley.
What's the mail been like, you've heard out of Melbourne, for Frightening from the Bart Cummings stable? There's been a bit of promise tagged on this horse.
Yeah, Frightening is one that's had a bit of a wrap around it. Of course, ran 6th in the Guineas Prelude, and that was behind Great Glen. Look, he generally gets back in his run. He did work home pretty well the last time. I think he's worth another chance. He probably likes a soft track, and you know, the track there today will have a little bit of give in it.
Let's hear what's happening on course and with the late mail. Alf Matthews standing by for race 2.
Thanks very much, Brendan. Very interesting race this. I put number 9, Frightening, on top here. Some people thought he was a little disappointing last start in the Guineas Prelude. I didn't think he was. Looks as if he's trained on nicely. I think he'll get the perfect run. He's a winner at the track and distance. I think he's perfectly placed with Stephen Arnold in the saddle. Number 10, Lord Volstrad, lovely horse. 2 for 2. Expect him to run a very forward race again. But I put Frightening on top because I just thought, drawn inside of him, he may be able to dictate to him, and that may be the difference at the finish. Number 2, Pick of the Yard, Hydrometer. Probably threw the race away by hanging out over the concluding stages at Sandown last start. Nice horse, drawn 2 today. Damien Oliver takes over, looks an absolute picture. And number 1, which is Able Choice, seen him look better before, may have just worked up to this type of distance. Looks as if he's lightened off a little bit, but look, I'm still going to give him a chance because I know he's a very nice galloper, but I've marked him 9 ahead of 10, 2 and 1. Andrew, updates.
Yes, Lord Volksrad here is the on-track favourite, has had support. You're getting right on what they're betting on track at around that $2.80. The Hydrometer, number 2, very good on track, but unders on the tote at around $4.70 on our screen. Frightening is also unders what they're betting on track at the moment. There's not a lot of value for those key runners. Able Choice has been very easy on track, but the one they're very keen for on track, you're getting near enough to what they're betting on track, is Lord Volksrad, Brendan, number 10.
Andrew, can I ask you what sort of mail there has been around for the Turnbull today? Any mail for Magical Miss or Don Eduardo or perhaps even Fields of Omar?
Don Eduardo's the one. We might try and catch up with Lee a little bit later. There's been an interesting gear change, I suppose you could say. The glue-on shoes for the first time today. So whether that means, and I'll ask Elf briefly here, that would obviously mean they've had a few problems with feet.
No doubt, Andrew, and invariably on softish ground, they sometimes can't work all that well. I'm a little bit concerned myself.
All right, we'll try and catch up with Lee quickly on that later. But no, look, with the track genuine dead, Fields of Omar certainly comes into it. Haven't been totally around the traps yet, but I think most people are gunning for Northerly. They just believe that back at Flemington, he's clearly going to be the one to beat.
Richard, glue-on shoes on a wet track, Andrew and Alf have talked about, but Northerly, is he suspect on the ground which has the sting out of it?
I don't think he's overly suspect. I think he'll handle it the way it is at Flemington, but look, I've been confused by Northerly most of the time. I mean, I thought this preparation he was well below his best, but it seems that he's not, and I just think you've got to take Northerly on trust all the time.
OK, well, let's update Randwick while we're talking Sydney racing this afternoon, and there's been a good move on course for Planchet. The ratings with Chickens ahead of Chuckle, who's the on-course favourite, Planchet and then Air of Grace, 11, 8, 1 and 10. If you fancy the 4 or the 5, they're just outside the top ones in the ratings. Richard, on course, it's Planchet, which has been well tried, not far away in a Golden Slipper. Chuckle's the clear on-course favourite. Apparently they're going to ride her closer to the speed today. She ran a good race in the Slipper as well.
I like Chuckle in this. I think Chuckle's just set... I don't think Chuckle's ever run at Randwick before. I think maybe this is her first run here, but I tell you, back on the track where she's trained and in a race where a lot of the horses are first up, I like Chuckle, and I think Chuckle will do really well. Planchet, well, Planchet's got the score on the board, but you have to take her on trust first up.
Trust first up. We'll trust your comments throughout the day. Richard Friedman, Brendan Parnell with you. Sky Racing's live and exclusive coverage from Royal Randwick. It's Epsom Day 2002. Back with Flemington after this. The Concept Sports Stakes, perhaps a star will emerge through this race to go on to bigger and better things throughout the spring. Let's rejoin Greg Miles trackside for race 2.
Righto, Brendan, 1400 here. There's Frightening going up into the line. Well-tried favourite is Lord Volksrad, showing at $2.70 on the tote. Unbeaten in his 2 starts. Here's Able Choice going in. Last year, Royal Code won this race. He beat Euston and Pentathlon in a good field. Interesting, it was Royal Code's 3rd race start, as it is with the favourite here, Lord Volksrad, and they both won the same race at Sandown leading into this event. History so often follows a pattern with racing, and we just might see a similar sort of occurrence here with Lord Volksrad. He's a horse who'll position on the pace, and it'll be interesting just to see who leads here. There's no obvious front runner. Now Magic Bird's about to come along and complete the lineup. He's got the blinkers on the first time, drawn the outside gate. In he goes, so they're set to run. 1400. Starters on the platform. Coos to the inside. Here's the glue-on shoes on today. All clear now. Off they go. Koozie a touch slow with Magic Bird, and Tycoon Ruler also got back there. Frightening began fast, but Koozie very quickly finds his legs and goes through to the front. Also away fast as Able Choice driving forward at the 1200. Koozie led Able Choice Frightening, a length and a half Hydrometer Chow Pai. 1.5 further back then Lord Volksrad. He's getting to the outside and keeping Magic Bird working 3 or 4 wide. Our Webster getting through on the inside, and Tycoon Ruler 2 lengths away. Up the side, Koozie by a length and a quarter. Able Choice's 2nd, Hydrometer tucked in 3rd. Frightening doing some work wide, and then Chow Pai wanting to over race. Next is Magic Bird. Lord Volksrad's drifted a fair way back and he's wide. Our Webster on the rails, and Tycoon Ruler is last of all. Koozie came to the 600, led Able Choice by a length. Hydrometer is right behind them waiting for a run, and they're followed by Frightening, who's been wide all of the way, and then Chow Pai. Magic Bird is out deep, followed by Lord Volksrad, who's got some work to do as they corner, with Our Webster making ground on the rail. Cousy left the fence. Hydrometer dashed through on the inside at the 350 and took the lead now. Pulled to the outside as Lord Volksrad coming with his run, and Chowpie's chiming in too. Hydrometer led at the 200. Cousy can't go on. Lord Volksrad's coming with a run. Hydrometer the leader. Lord Volksrad closing on him, 100 to go. Hydrometer's about a length in front. Lord Volksrad's running out of ground. Hydrometer had the better run. Hydrometer beat Lord Volksrad 3/4 of a length. Tycoon Ruler's got up for third, and then Chowpie. Cousy frightening, followed by Able Choice. A long break to our Webster, and Magic Bird last in. Great ride. He had everything in his favour there, Hydrometer. Never left the fence. He posied behind the leader, got the run on the inside, sprinted clear, and he's won the race very well. 2 Hydrometer, Damien Oliver first, trained by Leon McDonald. Second goes to 10, Lord Volksrad. Nash Robuda and Brian Mayfield Smith. He tastes defeat for the first time. Third going to number 4, Tycoon Ruler, ridden by Scott Seamer. Placings in the second at 2, 10 and 4. 2, 10 and 4. Fourth in was number 5, Chowpie, and fifth aim was 7, Cousy. And let's see, they've run some time in this, it would appear. It's at 1:22 even. We'll get that confirmed. It is a pretty good gallop though. Hydrometer, Damien Oliver, breaking a string of placings. He'd been placed his last 4 since winning at Morfettville back in April, and unluckily beaten at his last start when he wobbled towards the outside rail and threw the race away. But he went a lot straighter this afternoon, sticking to the inside, and proved too good. Damien Oliver opens his account today. Lord Volksrad got a lot further back than is his usual pattern of racing. He's made plenty of ground in the run home, been beaten around a length or so on the line, and Tycoon Ruler in third place. So 2, 10 and 4 it was. 2, 10 and 4. Hydrometer first. Lord Volksrad, I just don't know why he got so far back. It's not usually his pattern. Tycoon Ruler's come from a long way back too. Frightening got caught off the track in what didn't look to be a fast run race, but yet they've run a very quick time. Tote dividends 5, 10 and 170 for Hydrometer. 150 Lord Volksrad and 240 Tycoon Ruler. Quinella paid $6.30. Exacta $14.80. Trifecta $94.10, and the running double paid $159.70 on 10 and 2. We've got 2, 10 and 4. Fourth in the race went to number 5, Chowpie, and fifth was number 7, Cousy. And that time has altered, in fact, now 1:23.54. 1:23.54 on the second.
Respectable time for that journey, the 1400 metre journey at Flemington. And Richard Freedman set up by Cousy.
Yes, I thought it was odd that he missed the kick and decided to lead on it, but never mind. Those things happen.
Live to fight another day.
Yes. Hard to get into their heads sometimes, jockeys.
2, 10, 4 and 5 across the line as Damien Oliver returns. Now Cheltenham's hurdle as the first on the card, due to go in 5 from now, and the ratings in this first race on the card made 2 a special, and it's at $4.40 to beat 7, 1 and 8. Now Randwick checking the full market on this second race on the card, and on course, clear-cut favourite, albeit it is eased, is Chuckle. It's no value on the tote, whereas Planchet has been the medium of some very strong support on course, and it's very good odds by comparison on the tote. There's page 1 over the page, Fatoon, Air of Grace, and Chickens is being kept safe. It is the third elect on course. It has eased noticeably and isn't currently value on the tote. Richard, let's look at these runners. Planchet's been well tried, good run back in the Golden Slipper, and a winner of the Pago Pago.
Yes, first up today, and you have to take those horses on trust. John Hawkes usually gets them pretty forward for their first up run. Look, last start in April at Randwick, and the size produced behind Victory Vane. Well, this is not as strong as that, and she did run third behind Victory Vane. Look, it's got the ability. It's just the last 50 metres will tell the tale.
Big test today for Warrior Trader at large odds, but trialled okay recently at Hawkesbury.